So in previous videos, we looked at a couple of different ways of launching steel beam calculations, including launching a beam that doesn't have any Revit load objects on it already and creating those loads in the ENERCALC interface. We also looked at launching a steel beam calculation that has non-hosted Revit loads already on it and looking at how those populate in the span loads tab in the ENERCALC interface. In this video, we're going to be looking at specifically hosted Revit load objects and launching a beam that has those already existing in the Revit model. Now, as I mentioned in previous videos, it's perfectly acceptable to mix and match hosted and non-hosted loads. We're just looking at those in separate examples for clarity in the demonstration. So in this example, we're going to be looking at this canopy area in the main entrance of our example building. And I have a view already pulled up over here that has analytical elements enabled so we can see the loads. We don't have any loads on this beam yet, and I'm going to just quickly throw those on just to demonstrate how quick and easy that can be. So if I look at the second floor plan, we see that these beams are spaced at 6 foot on center typical, and I'm just going to assume that we have 20 PSF dead, 20 PSF live on this canopy area, so that'd be 120 pounds per linear foot, or 0.12 kit per foot. So we're going to go ahead and put those on. If I go to the Analyze tab, under Loads, Hosted line load, then I can just choose roof live and dead and just mouse over here and click on the analytical element to place those hosted loads. Now they have identical magnitudes, so you can't immediately see that there's two of them, but I can select here and in my filter tool see that we have 2 line loads present. So all I do to launch this calculation is go ahead and go up here to the ribbon bar, click on steel beam, select this beam. And I'm going to confirm the supports. There's no tributary beams, so I'll confirm that. And then I'm going to just skip the live load or roof live load reduction step for this example. We'll discuss that in a future video. So when our calculation loads, we're going to see that we have our 120 dead and 120 live all the way across the complete extent of the beam across both spans. And it's been stored for review and access here on the Loads All Spans tab. So that's the fundamental difference between hosted and non-hosted loads. Your non-hosted loads in general are going to populate on the Span Loads tab, and your hosted loads, because they extend the complete run of the beam, will populate on the Loads All Spans tab. So we see our 120, 120, 1 foot of tributary width, because these are not derived from area loads, they're pure linear loads. And we can go ahead and review our stress ratios, deflection, extreme reactions, and so on. And if we look at the Span Loads tab, we don't see any information there because there were no non-hosted loads on this beam. So if I go ahead and save and close, then we'll see this information return back to the Revit environment. And if I turn on design status, we can see that we have green highlighting and this beam is now complete.